Okay, that was Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 5. I am so confused. Crystal Room, okay. Go in order?
Yeah, there was
Sure.
some things that were said that I would love to reread slower.
Yeah.
Like specifically what Erwin says when they ask him for his reply and what Commander Pixie says.
I loved, like, the line of when enemies close in, you guard not with a shield, but a spear that eliminates the threat. He's just, like, kind of plotting out the whole idea of what's going to happen if
He
this...
plants the seed in their head to show, I guess, that the truth of humanity is the self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's showing, I guess, them that, I mean... I'm sure they're aware that they would self-preserve, but they don't want other people to know that, and he makes them admit it, basically.
It was brilliant. It was,
It was a great plan. It was all Commander Pixis, right?
Yeah. It was. And Erwin. But I can't believe they,
Well, he puts his neck out there.
Yeah.
Big time, I guess that's what I meant.
I'm very, surprised, not really surprised, but I'm just like, oh my god, none of this would have happened if they were all just the four of them were in a room with Erwin. Like, he needed, like, the rest of the regiment there to hear this conversation so that, like, Niall himself would stand up for what's right when that time came.
He needed the people high up in the military, the ones that are the swords and shields for these nobility, to hear this.
Yeah.
And I'm actually surprised that they were allowed to be there.
Agreed.
Why would you have thought that maybe that was a bad idea? There could be people that aligned themselves with Erwin.
I don't know who this girl is.
She was brave. This was...
Did she know? Did she know that it was fake information?
We've seen her before. I'm pretty sure she's the, like, kind of main person that stands next to Commander Pixis. Like, his, like, right-hand woman.
Do you think she was told, like, okay, this is what happened, or, like, you have to act your life out here?
Well, they obviously knew there was an act involved for all of them to come back in with guns.
Mm-hmm.
So they were already ready. They already knew what was going to happen. They knew the possibility that all of these people would admit to self-preservation over the safety of humanity. And so all of them had to at least be keyed in to the fact that they were trying some type of plan to get them to admit this.
Yeah. So do you think that the Rice family is it's still loyal and in cahoots with this false government head?
I don't know, because they were like, we're waiting. They were waiting for something. They were waiting for the vessel to take it. So they obviously know the truth.
Vessel being Historia, Power being Aaron, right?
Yeah, like they obviously know what Lord Reese is up to right now. I don't know why they think it's beneficial to them. Because why would it be beneficial to them that the true royal family take center stage if they've avoided that thus far?
That's the question. Like I would assume that it would be to elongate and ensure their comfortability in life, right? Whatever
seems to be the smartest kind of decision in order to keep what they have.
Yeah. I would imagine. I mean, I don't know. Like, because obviously when push comes to shove, you see how, like, their decision goes. It's to ensure their own preservation. But I just don't know. Like, Erwin touched on it. Whatever they are doing and their plan is, they have a plan to maintain their comfortability. So, like, what is that? It's not just, like, it's not just to keep it as it is, obviously. What are they thinking is going to happen once Historia gets Aaron's abilities?
And it's truly just, the four of them? King Fritz is nothing. He's purely just... I honestly don't even think he has anything in here. That, or it's like an old guy with, like, dementia. I don't know. It kind of seemed weird then when they were like, what? Get up, or whatever. And he was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what's happening here? Is this just some, like, random guy that they've paid to just sit in this chair and act... Well, I will say that the act of indifference and kind of him being, like, just looking at you like that from the chair was kind of terrifying and chilling.
Well, from what I understand,
if I was brought in front of him, I would be scared.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Because of his indifference, you know, I would be like, he doesn't care. I couldn't sway this guy.
No, not at all. He's like, I mean nothing. Like, I would be sitting there being like, whatever I say
like,
doesn't faze him.
You're a bug, you know? But he was asleep.
Yeah.
Like, with his eyes open.
That was the line, right? After Niall Dawk, you have got to be the MVP of the entire world.
I just loved how they were really building the tension using Niall as he was looking at this person that is probably I think he would think a very good friend of his, even if they have differences in opinion. Someone he definitely cares about. And he's like, what are you doing? And I could almost like feel that. I was like, if I was in his position, I feel like I would be screaming inside my head, what are you doing? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me enough information. Like, should I be doing something here? What should I be doing?
So, was the information that Erwin told Niall last episode, like the whole, like, was he implying to Niall that, like, he had arranged for the Armored and Colossal Titan to come? Like...
I think he just, I'm pretty sure he basically just alluded to Commander Pixis being the one that was going to handle this situation. However he may do that.
Okay.
And so I think he was just passing along, listen carefully to whatever Commander Pixis says or does.
That makes sense.
And then follow him and follow suit.
Wake up, dotard. And then...
What? Time to eat?
Shut up, you useless oaf. Insane.
I am so proud of Niall, though, for resisting. Because he resisted... It was because of him that we were able to get that confession out of those 4 nobles. It was because of his being like, I don't want to close the gates.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. And that's what pushed them to keep talking and keep admitting further and further into basically what goes against, what was it, Clause 6?
Yeah.
Of their Charter for Humanity, something like that.
It's like so... It was perfect. Like, the plan was, like, perfect how it was set up and how it was immediate after.
I think Erwin knew that Niall would stall it or would say no or...
I think he had an inkling based off of his knowledge of Niall. Because, like,
It's like he trusted. He was like, I'm having some faith in this guy that I know. And he's a key player.
Well...
Almost.
Is it manipulation? Because, like, I think that there's a hint of manipulation from Erwin there being like, oh, I'm going to bring up where your family lives, like in the episode prior, and make you have family on the brain. And then you bring up this situation this episode, and it's like, of course he's not going to do it. He's going to want to save his family. He's going to want to, you know?
It's like, in a way, it's manipulation, but it's also like, it's true, though. What he's planting in his head. It's not like that would never happen. Because once Erwin's dead and the scouts are disbanded, the nobility don't care about what happens within the other walls other than theirs.
Yeah.
You know? So it's pretty likely, now that we know the Colossal and Armored have left, that they could come back.
Just because it's manipulation slightly, it does not mean it's not true. Like,
yeah.
He chose...
It's more like giving him possibilities of what could happen.
At a very specific time.
At a very specific timing. I don't know, manipulation comes with such, like, a negative connotation.
I don't know.
That I feel kind of hesitant to put the word here, and I wish there was maybe a better word. I'm not thinking of one. It is manipulative. It totally is. I mean, what's the definition of manipulative?
He's playing the game. Like, he's I don't know, he's orchestrating the events in a specific way.
Yes, he's planting. I mean, what is manipulation? You're, like, planting seeds. You're, like, giving people a certain piece of information in hopes that they act a certain way. You know, you're kind of orchestrating.
Okay, so now Underground Chapel. That's the mid-roll.
And we got this right after Hanji shows us that she has a book. And I'm like, anytime a character has a book in this show, I know that there's, like, secret information in it.
So my first...
It's probably illegal.
Well,
Because it makes me think of Armin with the book, and then it makes me think
wouldn't-
of Ilse's notebook with the big drop of Titans talking, and
but
I don't know.
I get what you're saying because I immediately thought the same thing, but Hanchi said that it was just like the reports that they've taken about the Rice family, right?
Right, and reports have secret information in them.
No. Reports have information that the noble family is okay with other people knowing.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It wasn't like if it was information that was secret, I think it would have been burned, you know?
Yeah.
But the mid-roll says a sacred location where the royal family's power has been passed down for generations. The walls are composed of a naturally luminescent ore, which is thought to have been created by some form of Titan power.
Okay, so they're calling whatever, like the crystal that Annie turns herself into,
Correct.
what the walls are made out of, a luminescent ore that is created through Titan power.
Is the wall material necessarily the same luminescent ore?
No.
It could
They
be
can
too.
create lots of ores.
Yeah.
Isn't that a weird power to have? You can get really big and then you can create different ores.
It's a pretty cool power. This is obviously the place where we see Eren tied up later. Mm-hmm.
Is the picture available for public disclosure or just the text that we're reading underneath? Because I'm pretty sure public disclosure would not be a picture of a guy chained up inside a crystal palace.
Very true. A sacred location where the royal family's power has been passed down for generations. So,
there's a certain royal family power. There's a certain power that is the royal family's power, which I guess we could guess is a control over Titans.
Yeah, which Eren is holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? When was the last time this was passed down?
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. Ben. Okay. Just hear me out for a second. Okay, so 5 years ago is when all of this big stuff happens. Historia's mom's killed, the chapel that they're all conveniently in at the same time, and the bandits supposedly didn't know that. Yeah, right.
Bandits, quote unquote.
Who was fleeing in the middle of the night in a horse-drawn carriage to go find his son and inject him with something 5 years ago? Who do we think has knowledge of this stuff? Eren's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think... And we now know that Eren must have ingested in something that only the royal family should have had? Is it safe to say that maybe that's where Eren's dad was fleeing from? Is that chapel where the Reese family was killed?
I would think so. I think that that's very probable. What's the likelihood that Eren and Historia are related? I say that because we get
pretty
this.
Blue eyes.
No.
Oh, because when he first wakes up, he looks in the mirror and he looks like her older sister.
Freda.
Freda.
As the lord of his territory, popular opinion of Rod Reese wasn't all that bad. He had 5 children. His eldest daughter, Freda, was down-to-earth girl that even the peasants adored. But that night, 5 years ago, disaster struck.
Why is she important to us? Why are they only talking about her out of all of the children? She has to be vital to this. And especially for him to wake up in the crystal room, first imagining himself brushing his hair. Is that the memory? Their memories? Is it Frida's memory that he's accessing?
If it's passed down through generations, then one could maybe think that the memories passed down with the power.
Yeah, with the power.
Some bandits raided.
So would it be that she had the power then? Maybe only one person can be the holder of the power?
Yeah.
And it was her because she was the eldest?
Unfortunately, that night the entire Rice family were there praying together. We don't know, who had the power at this time, right? Before Eren.
I mean, I'm gonna assume it was...
Freda?
The eldest sister.
Yeah.
But he obviously... Okay, so maybe... But I like where you're going. Maybe only people in the royal family can even carry the power.
Well, that's the implication, right?
Yeah, so, Aaron can carry the power.
So
Why?
was the whole reason that Historia like wasn't living with them because she was like a half blood?
I think it was because she was actually illegitimate.
Yeah.
I think she was literally like a mistress situation.
Yeah, and wasn't like pure.
Because that other lady definitely is the one that gave birth to her because she hated her so much.
Because like in other words, immediately after losing his family, Rodri sought out Historia.
Is Historia even
I think Rod
his daughter?
I think
is
so.
Is it like a niece situation?
I think Rod had his family killed, potentially.
Yeah, but why?
I mean, he's been living a noble life since, right?
And she did say that he's the only one that saw the bandits. I'm like, this sounds like one of those like a Criminal Minds episode, or I don't know, like something where the dad just kills his whole family. Like, why? Why?
Or he just knew that his family was going to die. I don't know. Because let's say if he had knowledge that his family was going to die, why would he want the blood, like the power to end? I'm assuming the power's there, right? I could be wrong in that assumption though. Like, part of the chapel are completely wrecked.
Maybe
the chapel itself is stone. It would take time, tons of time and effort to destroy it. I imagine that
Did the interior police do this?
No, I think it's a Titan. Maybe. Bandits would take what they can and make a quick escape. The only one who saw those bandits was Rod himself. Psh. Soon after, he used his own fortune to rebuild the chapel. But why?
Is his family not actually dead? Did they all turn into Titans? And he's trying to maybe get one of them to turn back? Or maybe this power isn't even for Historia. Maybe he's not trying to get Historia to eat Eren. Maybe he's trying to get his other family members to eat Eren. I don't know.
It's actually stronger that there were no traces. Stranger that it was. What does it say? Sorry. It's actually stranger that there were no traces of Titans.
Why is it stranger?
Because it would be harder for humans to destroy a church like that, I'd assume.
Right,
so maybe it isn't Titans enough.
I'm trying to remember now what wall it was in.
What? The church?
Rod Reese's territory. What wall was his land within?
I thought Cena. Because it would be closer to the interior, right?
I mean, I would think that he'd be kept closer.
When they say stranger that there are no traces of Titans, I have a question. Is that no traces of Titans as in Titans haven't been there? Or like in the same sense of Connie's village? Like,
that's why I'm wondering location-wise. Like, where it is.
Well, like, no, I mean, like when she says no traces of Titans, what is a trace of a Titan? Is it like seeing wreckage and blood, or is it like seeing a big footprint in the ground? Like, what? They could have all turned into Titans, all of them praying in the circle, like you said, and they could be trying to get Eren's power to turn them back into humans.
Right. If they all eat Eren, then they'd all have the ability to.
But why would they have turned into Titans?
And why would he have gone to get Historia? Did he have knowledge that Eren was going to join the Scouts, and that's why he went to get Historia and sent her to join the Scouts?
Do you think he knew Eren had it at that point? I wouldn't think so.
I mean, I guess that would go along with if he knew Eren's dad or not.
I have a feeling that potentially Freda, I don't know. Freda was the one who like caused an upstir. If she did have the power, and she was the most down to earth one, right?
She was the most down. They specifically say that she's down to earth.
And I don't know why, but I have like a correlation of down to earth being more of a sympathetic good person.
Yeah.
So what if she learned of like plans or bad doings or wrongdoings that her father had planned of, and she rebelled, and that's what caused the situation. She didn't go
whatever they were gonna do in that church that night. She didn't want to go along with or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Holy shit, dude! Well, this is such an. My mind's like. I'm sorry. We have the picture of
her, but Eren inside her memories. On the screen.
Did we get a picture of...
We get the back of her head.
Only the back?
Mm-hmm. We get her waving. And we don't get to see her face. And I think that's super purposeful that we're not seeing her face. And then when we do see it, it's like mixed with Erin's face.
A down-to-earth girl.
That even the peasants adored. She's definitely empathetic. Definitely. She would have been a great ruler then.
I'm like, does she look like Eren here because she looks like Eren? Or is this like Eren remembering like the past memory of Freda or this person, like with like, and they're showing that to us artistically with his face on her. I don't. They look so similar.
It's like if you put a wig on Eren.
It really is.
I think this means that Eren ate part of her somehow.
Well,
if he's having her memories,
I disagree. I don't think. I think like because Armin said a similar thing, right? Who did Eren eat? I don't think it has to be eaten.
Well, I meant
syringe.
Inject. I know. I didn't mean eat.
But I think that like my thing is like, is he remembering her right now, or is he communicating with her? Is it like an avatar state? Is it like, and she's like, oh, you can see me, or is it like
I felt like that's him, but then looking in the mirror and seeing that it's not him. Like he's dreaming and then he looks up in the mirror and he's like, that is not me in the reflection. That's the reaction that I'm getting. Mm-hmm. But I like the idea that he's like communicating through the memories.
Obviously,
that would be cool.
We have to understand, we have to think that there is a possibility this is not Frida, right?
Correct.
Even though I'm pretty sure it is.
The hair colors.
There's a situation out there that it isn't.
There's a possibility, maybe.
Why is he remembering this now and never has before? Is it because it's in the crystal place, and that's like a way that if the crystals were made by Titans, or the ore was made by Titans, then...
Ores amplify energy and stuff.
Well, I think that if it was made by it, then if you're surrounded by that, it could amplify that DNA or that power, because other people or past holders of this power were ones who made that.
Yeah. This room was obviously constructed to restrain someone, big and or small, in my opinion. Like, maybe just small. Maybe. It's so perfect. Like, how do you construct even this, like, altar? So crazy.
What are the pillars? Are the pillars, like...
Just probably for the integrity, to, like, keep up the ceiling. I don't know. No, I have no clue.
Like, I was thinking maybe it's, like, other
is.
Holders, like, made them. Of the power.
That'd be so cool, and you become a pillar yourself, basically holding up the kingdom. Mm-hmm. That would be like some imagery, man.
Yeah. I want to go up to if a Titan. Okay, Armin. If a Titan eats a person who can change into a Titan and thus inherits their powers, if that's actually true, when and how did Eren become a Titan, and who did he eat to gain his powers? Definitely. Are we going to like for sure be like, yep, his powers were given to him by his dad? In that syringe. I think so.
What else was he injected with?
And if Eren and her actually look a lot alike, what's the story there? Like, obviously you alluded to it, and well, you said it, and I agree with you that Eren's dad was probably coming from that church, right? Why? How did he get there? What knowledge did he have to, like, be able to take this power? Was it given to him willingly? Did Frida was that the whole thing? Like Frida was like, no, I'll give it to you so you can have it and protect it or something. And then Rod freaked out. Is like, what relationship did Eren's dad have with them? Was it like personal? Was it like, oh, I'm going to go steal this like a vigilante because I randomly know about this power? Like,
I mean, Eren's dad has a basement.
We have a basement, but I'm not burning down churches and stealing blood.
Maybe he has a crystal ore basement too.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe he has access to the crystal ore basement.
What if they're not in the church? What if they are in Eren's basement? That'd be fucking crazy.
He escapes and he walks up the stairs and he's like, what? My
That would
dining
be-
room table.
That like goes upstairs and just opens the door and sees his like dead mom. Dude, that would be insane. Because like think about it. Like Hanji and them were like, oh no, I think they're at this church. It's like they pull up and it like makes you think that they're going to like save Eren, but nobody's there, and they end up being in Eren's basement.
And rebuilding the church was just an extra measure to protect that they never found the location. Because wouldn't you go to this church that my family died in first?
Yeah.
Ha ha, joke's on you. Because of his indifference, you know, I would be like, he doesn't care. I couldn't sway this guy. Because of his indifference, you know, I would be like, he doesn't care. I couldn't sway this guy. Because of his indifference.
Because of his indifference.